Welcome to our exploration of why our education system seems to prioritize memorization over true understanding. Have you ever wondered why so many exams test your ability to recall facts rather than your grasp of concepts? Today, we'll dive deep into the roots of this phenomenon, tracing its origins, examining its impact, and considering what it means for students, teachers, and society at large. Let's begin by looking at how our classrooms are structured and why rote learning has become such a dominant force in education. Understand why memorization is so prevalent, we need to look back in history. Traditional education systems were designed during times when information was scarce and books were expensive. Teachers were the main source of knowledge, and students were expected to absorb and repeat what they heard. This model made sense in an era before the internet, but its legacy still shapes our classrooms today. The emphasis on memorization was a practical solution for passing down essential information quickly and efficiently. One of the major reasons memorization persists is the widespread use of standardized testing. These tests are designed to be objective and easy to grade, often relying on multiple-choice questions that favor quick recall over deep understanding. As a result, teachers and students alike focus on memorizing facts and formulas to achieve high scores. This approach can sideline critical thinking and creativity, narrowing the scope of what is valued in education. Growing class sizes, teachers often face the challenge of managing dozens of students at once. Memorization-based instruction is easier to implement and assess on a large scale. It allows teachers to cover more material quickly and to evaluate student performance with less subjectivity. However, this efficiency comes at the cost of deeper engagement and individualized learning, making it harder for students to truly understand the material. Many cultures, academic achievement is closely tied to the ability to recall information accurately. Parents, teachers, and even employers often equate good memory with intelligence and diligence. This cultural expectation reinforces the focus on memorization, as students strive to meet the standards set by their families and communities. The pressure to perform can lead to a cycle where memorization is valued above true comprehension. Curricula are often packed with content, leaving little room for exploration or discussion. Teachers are required to cover a vast amount of material in a limited time, which encourages a focus on memorization. When the goal is to get through the syllabus, there's less opportunity for students to ask questions, experiment, or connect ideas. This design makes it difficult to foster deep understanding, even for the most dedicated educators. Assessment methods play a crucial role in shaping how students learn. When exams and quizzes are designed to test recall, students naturally focus on memorizing information. Alternative assessments like projects or presentations require more time and resources to grade, making them less common. As a result, the cycle of memorization continues, reinforced by the very tools meant to measure learning. Many teachers are trained in traditional methods that emphasize content delivery and memorization. Professional development opportunities that focus on fostering understanding and critical thinking are less common. Without support and resources, even well-intentioned teachers may default to familiar strategies, perpetuating the cycle of rote learning in their classrooms. Parents often expect their children to excel in exams, which are typically based on memorization. This expectation can shape how students approach their studies, focusing on short-term recall rather than long-term understanding. When parents reward high test scores, they may unintentionally reinforce the idea that memorization is the key to academic success. Technology has made information more accessible than ever, but it has also changed how we learn. With answers just a click away, students may rely on quick searches rather than developing a deep understanding of concepts. While technology can support learning, it can also encourage surface-level engagement if not used thoughtfully in the classroom. The pressure to perform well on exams shapes how students and teachers approach learning. When grades become the primary goal, the process of learning can take a back seat. This exam-oriented mindset encourages students to focus on memorizing what will be tested, rather than seeking to understand the underlying principles. When education is centered on memorization, there's little room for critical thinking. Students may become adept at recalling facts but struggle to analyze, synthesize, or apply their knowledge in new situations. This lack of critical thinking can limit their ability to solve problems creatively or adapt to changing circumstances. Memorization often leads to short-term learning, where information is quickly forgotten after exams. In contrast, true understanding enables students to retain and apply knowledge over time. When the focus is on memorization, students may struggle to connect new information to what they already know, making it harder to build lasting knowledge. Teachers are often overwhelmed by administrative tasks, large classes, and limited resources. In this environment, it's easier to rely on memorization-based instruction, which requires less preparation and grading time. However, this approach can leave students disengaged and unprepared for real-world challenges. Education policies often emphasize measurable outcomes such as test scores and graduation rates. These metrics are easier to track when learning is based on memorization. As a result, schools may prioritize strategies that boost scores, even if they don't promote deep understanding or meaningful learning experiences. International comparisons, such as standardized tests across countries, can pressure education systems to focus on easily measured skills. Countries may adopt memorization-heavy curricula to improve their rankings, even if it means sacrificing deeper learning. This global competition can reinforce the cycle of rote learning worldwide. Textbooks are often structured around lists of facts, definitions, and formulas. This format encourages students to memorize content rather than engage with ideas. When textbooks become the primary resource, both teachers and students may focus on covering material rather than exploring concepts in depth. A culture that punishes mistakes can discourage students from taking risks or exploring new ideas. When the goal is to get the right answer, students may avoid asking questions or thinking critically. This fear of making mistakes reinforces the focus on memorization, as students seek to avoid errors at all costs. Teachers are often evaluated based on their students' test scores. This creates an incentive to focus on strategies that boost scores quickly, such as drilling facts and practicing test questions. While this may improve short-term results, it can undermine efforts to foster deeper understanding and critical thinking. Schools with limited resources may lack the materials, technology, or staff needed to support more interactive or inquiry-based learning. In these environments, memorization becomes a practical solution for delivering education to large numbers of students with minimal resources. In multilingual classrooms, teachers may rely on memorization to ensure all students can keep up, regardless of their language proficiency. While this approach can help students learn basic vocabulary and facts, it may limit opportunities for deeper engagement and understanding. Homework assignments often reinforce memorization by asking students to repeat information or practice similar problems. While repetition can aid retention, it may not encourage students to think critically or apply their knowledge in new ways. The structure of homework can thus perpetuate the cycle of rote learning. Competition among students can drive a focus on grades and test scores, encouraging memorization as the quickest path to success. When students are ranked based on their ability to recall information, the pressure to memorize increases, sometimes at the expense of true learning. Society often rewards those who can quickly recall facts and figures, whether in school, work, or daily life. This value system reinforces the emphasis on memorization, shaping how education is delivered and what is considered important to learn. Understanding how memory works can shed light on why memorization is so common. Our brains are wired to remember information through repetition and association. While memorization can be effective for certain types of learning, it's not always the best approach for developing deeper understanding or problem-solving skills. True understanding involves making connections, seeing patterns, and applying knowledge in new contexts. Memorization, on the other hand, is about recalling isolated facts. While both have their place, an overemphasis on memorization can crowd out opportunities for deeper learning and creativity. When students are trained to memorize rather than understand, they may struggle to adapt to new challenges or solve unfamiliar problems. This can lead to frustration, disengagement, and a lack of confidence in their abilities. Over time, students may lose interest in learning altogether. Teachers who are pressured to produce high test scores may feel constrained in their teaching methods. They may have less freedom to experiment with creative or interactive lessons, leading to burnout and dissatisfaction. This environment can make it difficult for teachers to inspire a love of learning in their students. A society that values memorization over understanding may struggle to innovate or adapt to change. When citizens are trained to recall information rather than think critically, it can limit progress in science, technology, and other fields. Encouraging deeper learning is essential for building a more resilient and creative society. There is growing recognition that education needs to shift from memorization to understanding. Educators, policymakers, and employers are calling for skills like critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. These skills are essential for success in the modern world, and they require a different approach to teaching and learning. Project-based learning is one approach that emphasizes understanding over memorization. By working on real-world problems and collaborating with others, students develop deeper knowledge and transferable skills. This method encourages curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking, helping students connect what they learn to their lives. Inquiry-based learning encourages students to ask questions, investigate topics, and construct their own understanding. This approach shifts the focus from memorizing answers to exploring ideas and making discoveries. It fosters a sense of ownership and engagement, helping students become lifelong learners. Assessment for learning focuses on providing feedback that helps students improve, rather than simply measuring what they know. This approach values growth and progress, encouraging students to reflect on their understanding and set goals for further learning. It can help shift the focus from memorization to meaningful learning. Ongoing professional development can help teachers adopt new strategies that promote understanding. Workshops, mentoring, and collaboration with colleagues can provide the support teachers need to move beyond memorization-based instruction. Investing in teacher growth is key to transforming education. Parents can play a vital role by encouraging curiosity and valuing learning for its own sake. When parents support exploration and understanding, rather than just high test scores, they help create an environment where students feel safe to ask questions and make mistakes. A flexible curriculum allows teachers to adapt lessons to students' interests and needs. By giving teachers more autonomy, schools can create space for deeper exploration and understanding. Flexibility in curriculum design is essential for moving beyond rote learning. When used thoughtfully, technology can support deeper learning by providing access to diverse resources, interactive simulations, and collaborative platforms. Rather than replacing understanding with quick answers, technology can help students explore concepts and develop critical skills. Connecting classroom learning to real-world experiences helps students see the relevance of what they're studying. When students understand how knowledge applies outside of school, they're more likely to engage deeply and retain what they learn. Curiosity is the engine of learning. When students are encouraged to ask questions and pursue their interests, they develop a love of learning that goes beyond memorization. Teachers and parents can nurture curiosity by creating a safe and supportive environment for exploration. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. When students are encouraged to learn from errors rather than fear them, they become more resilient and open to new ideas. Celebrating mistakes as opportunities for growth can help shift the focus from memorization to understanding. Collaboration encourages students to share ideas, solve problems together, and learn from one another. When classrooms value teamwork over competition, students are more likely to engage deeply and develop a richer understanding of the material. Success in education should be measured by more than just test scores. When we value creativity, problem solving, and a love of learning, we create a system that supports true understanding. Redefining success can help shift the focus away from memorization and toward meaningful growth. Transforming education requires changes at the policy level. Policymakers can support deeper learning by funding innovative programs, reducing emphasis on standardized testing, and encouraging flexible curricula. These changes can help create an environment where understanding is valued over memorization. Imagine a future where education empowers students to think critically, solve problems, and pursue their passions. By shifting from memorization to understanding, we can prepare the next generation for the challenges and opportunities of a rapidly changing world. The journey begins with small steps in classrooms, homes, and communities. As we've seen, the emphasis on memorization in our education system is the result of historical, cultural, and practical factors. While memorization has its place, true understanding is essential for personal growth and societal progress. By rethinking how we teach, assess, and value learning, we can create an education system that prepares students not just to remember, but to understand, innovate, and thrive.